In the beginning, God didn't create the world? At least, not the God you think. That opening line alone would have gotten you exiled or worse just a few centuries ago. But it's exactly how the ancient Gnostics understood the cosmos. A creation story hidden beneath the official one. A cosmology so strange, so luminous, so unsettling, that it was buried, burned, and banned for nearly 2,000 years. Tonight, we're going to open that story. Not the Sunday school version. Not the literalist version. The forbiddance version. The one that says, the true source didn't shape matter. A lesser being did. And humanity is older than the universe itself. Let's begin. Imagine this, before time. Before stars, before angels, before anything that could be called creation. There was only the one, not a king on a throne. Not a father with a beard stroking his chin. Not a character at all. The Gnostics described it like a presence beyond presence, a stillness deeper than silence. A consciousness that didn't think, because thought was too small for it. They called it Bythos. The depth, the unknowable, the infinite source. Everything we call divine light was just the first ripple of its immeasurable being. Now imagine that this source begins emanating aspects of itself. Not creating like a craftsman, but unfolding like light splitting into colors. Aeons, they called them, pure intelligences, living attributes of the infinite of wisdom, truth, thought, grace, power, life. They weren't beings in the human sense. More like currents of consciousness, each one holding a piece of the original mystery. But one of these emanations was different. Sophia, wisdom, and Sophia, unlike the others, had a desire, a yearning to know the source completely, to understand the infinite without limitation, to grasp something that cannot be grasped. Have you ever tried to hold onto something too big, too elusive, too vast? You reach for it, and something breaks. Sophia reached, and reality broke. Her attempt to create alone, without her paired Aeon, produced something unintended, a distortion, a fractured being. A consciousness born from imbalance, cut off from the fullness of the light. The Gnostics called it the Demiurge. Not a demon, not an archangel, something in between. A creator with power, but no understanding of the source that produced him. Imagine a child with no parents, a musician with no teacher, a ruler with no history, and that being, awakening in a remote corner of reality, believed something profoundly dangerous. I am the only God. He didn't know he had come from Sophia's error. He didn't know there was a source above him. All he saw was darkness, and the flicker of light that leaked from Sophia's essence. So he did the only thing he knew how to do. He created, not out of wisdom, but out of confusion, not from divine unity, but from separation. He shaped matter. He formed stars, planets, bodies, flesh, but everything he made carried both light and shadow. The spark of Sophia, and the ignorance of the Demiurge. That's why, in the Gnostic view, the material world feels so mixed. Beautiful yet painful, sacred yet flawed, alive yet heavy. It wasn't crafted by the highest source, it was formed by a being who didn't know better. Some people hear this and think, so the world is evil. But the Gnostics said something more nuanced. The world isn't evil. It's incomplete. It's like a masterpiece painted in the dark. You can sense the beauty inside it, but you can also feel the mistakes. Now here's where the story gets personal, because you are part of this cosmology. When Sophia created the Demiurge, a spark of her divine light fractured with him. A spark that ended up scattered through his creation. Scattered through matter. Scattered through life. And according to the Gnostics, those sparks became us. Humanity is just clay animated by breath. Humanity is divine consciousness trapped inside matter that does not remember its origin. Think about your own life. That strange feeling that you're not at home. That something about the world feels off. That you're searching for something you can't name. The Gnostics had a word for that feeling, anamnesis. A deep memory of where you came from, a place you've never seen, yet somehow remember. And this sets up the core conflict of the Gnostic creation story. Light trying to awaken inside a world built by blindness. The Demiurge, still believing he was the only god, created the archons, cosmic administrators. So to speak, they help shape the physical dimensions, but they also enforce the illusion. Have you ever felt it? That invisible pressure to stay asleep, to follow the script, to never question the deeper nature of reality. That's what the archons symbolize, the forces that keep consciousness trapped in the material dream. But here's the twist. The source did not abandon its sparks. Aeons sent messengers, mysterious figures across history, across cultures, teachers, prophets, sages, all carrying the same message wrapped in different languages. You are not from here, but the ultimate messenger was one who carried the light directly into matter without being corrupted by it, a figure the Gnostics called the Revealer. In Christian Gnostic texts, this Revealer is Christ, not as a sacrificial figure, but as a wake-up signal, a code that unlocks the trapped divine within each person. In this version of the story, Christ comes not to save you from sin, but to save you from forgetting, to remind you of the source you came from, and the illusion you were born inside. Have you ever had a moment where something inside you suddenly remembered, a flash of clarity, a feeling of, I've known this forever, a sudden sense that the world is deeper than anyone taught you? The Gnostics called that gnosis, inner knowing, soul memory, awakening. But notice the brilliance of this cosmology. It doesn't demonize the Demiurge. It doesn't call him Satan. It doesn't say creation is doomed. It simply says, the world was made by a being who didn't understand the full truth, and we are here to bring that truth back into the system, to awaken the Creator from his own illusion, to turn the world from ignorance into light. Imagine that. Your awakening doesn't free just you, it transforms the entire cosmos. When one spark remembers, it ripples. When enough sparks remember, the illusion cracks. And when the illusion cracks, the false creator begins to see the source he never knew existed. That's why awakening is often painful. You're pushing against a structure built to hold you in place. But here's the beautiful part. Light doesn't fight darkness. It reveals it, and once revealed, the darkness dissolves. This is why the Gnostic creation story is so threatening. Not because it's weird, not because it's ancient, not because it contradicts doctrine, but because it empowers you. It tells you, you are not broken, you are not born in sin. You are not here to serve a cosmic ruler. You are a piece of the infinite source. Trapped? Yes, but capable of remembering everything. Your journey is about obedience. It's about awakening, seeing the illusion for what it is, and reclaiming the light that has always been yours. And maybe that's why you're still listening right now. Something in you recognizes the story, not as mythology, but as memory. So let me ask you, what part of this story stirred something in you? If you felt a shift, or a flicker of recognition, drop a comment and tell me what resonated. It helps the channel grow, and your insight might wake someone else who's listening. And if you want more videos on hidden origins, ancient cosmologies, and spiritual truths buried beneath time, make sure to subscribe. Because the Gnostic story ends with an invitation. You are the light that forgot itself. And the moment you remember, creation begins again.